Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and let's get into this everyday sort of glam. Alright, so I'm starting off with my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream and I use this as my moisturizer and my primer. I find that it just gives my skin a very natural finish and it's not too harsh, not too matte. And then for my brows, I'm using light strokes with a pencil for this feathery, bushy brow, very natural brow look. This is my go-to brow look, honestly. I just do like a light fill. For concealer, I'm using my Born This Way concealer, my go-to concealer, and this is in the shade Cookie. I'm doing sort of an underpainting look. I'm going in with my concealer first before I even do my foundation. I don't want to add too much foundation, that's why I'm going in with concealer first. And then I use my setting spray, again my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, just to kind of make sure it's still a little has a little tackiness, and also that just the makeup just has something to glide onto. And then I'm using my Born This Way concealer again to contour and sculpt my face. I did add a little bit too much concealer to my cheeks, but I kind of just blended it out and worked my magic with that, but it was a bit of a hassle. At that moment, I knew I like messed up. I was just looking at it like, oh yeah, that's too much product. But it's okay. I just went in with my foundation on like the areas where I didn't put concealer and tried to buff out the harsh edges. And then I'm just gonna go back and forth between my concealer and kind of blend that in so that it's just not as harsh. So I'm starting off with my concealer. I don't do my under eye until that's set in a bit because I like it to be as full coverage as possible when it comes to the concealer. So I like to make sure my concealer sets in a bit, and I do the trick of putting the setting spray or the melting spray in between steps just to make sure that not only that it stays all night, but it also just glides on even if it like dries down too much. It really helps to make sure that it's still movable. And as you can see, I'm sort of blending that concealer into my contour to make sure that it isn't too harsh. I don't like using too much foundation, so this is pretty much my go-to look, especially sometimes like if I'm in a rush as well and or it's too hot and I don't want to put too much foundation. I just find that concealer, especially working with a concealer that's just full coverage, I feel like you still get that effect of foundation, but sometimes you just don't have to have that added layer, because if I had to do foundation underneath then the concealer, I just feel like it's just too much product on my face. I still kind of get that full coverage look with the concealer, but without the multitude of products just layered on top of each other. So I'm just blending out that contour once again. You can still see it's a bit harsh, but I'm just gonna keep going in with the foundation side of my brush and the concealer side of my brush. And to brighten up, I'm using the same concealer, Born This Way concealer, but in a different shade. I'm using Cloud, which is this stark white sort of porcelain color. I love to use like a really bright or white concealer just to give extra depth to the highlight. I feel like my makeup just pops a little bit more when I do that. And to set that all in, I'm using my One Size Fits All translucent powder in the inner corner, and then on the outer corner I am going to use the Sweet Honey shade. It's sort of a yellow banana shade, not too yellow. I like to set in my under eye immediately just to make sure that there's no creasing. So as soon as I blend that all out with the brush, I go in with my powder puff in all the concealer areas just to make sure, again, there's no creasing. For contour, I'm using my one size fits all bronzer palette. This is in the medium palette, I believe. And then very simple, just setting in where I place that concealer contour. For blushes, I'm using my Made by Mitchell blush book. Just a very light, peachy sort of blush. Not too much. When it comes to blonde hair and certain blushes, I don't like it to be too pigmented, if that makes sense. I just like a flush of color. And then set that all in with my setting spray. Again, the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. And then I just use my fan to make sure that is all dry down, set, and perfect. For lips, I'm going in with my Mented lip liner. It's just a typical nude or brownish sort of lip liner. I believe it might be in the color Bear or Nude. I'm not 100% sure. I want to say it's in the color Bear. And then for a gloss, I'm using my Makeup by Mario little lip plumper. For lashes, honestly, I don't know the style of the lashes. I'm so sorry. But I'm using just some lashes that I had laying around. I honestly want to feel like it's from like the beauty supply store. I don't even know what style they're in. Once I kind of use lashes, I don't place them back in the same box, but I have like a little lash box. So that's where I stored them at, and I just didn't have the original box. I always reuse certain lashes, like maybe once or twice. I can possibly go for like 3 to 4 times depending on how expensive, but like usually like the beauty supply store lashes, I'll probably get like 2 wears out of them. The bands are pretty thick, so it can like warrant 2 wears, but certain bands are not that thick, so it's just like a one-time use. And I don't know who else has this habit of just putting their lashes anywhere sometimes, like after a long night out or after you're doing your makeup, it's just lashes just everywhere. And that's how I lose lashes. But that is pretty much the look. I'm just going to finish it off with some mascara on my bottom lashes. My bottom lashes are kind of non-existent, so they don't even show. But that's pretty much the look, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I haven't been this consistent the last 2 months or the last month. I have been on vacation, but vacation means vlogs are coming soon. So hopefully I can get back in the groove of things, guys. It's just summertime, you know, want to be outside. I want to be outside thugging with my rounds. But yes, guys, hope you enjoyed this look. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Yes, purr.